Hi, my name is Skylar Church. I'm a California real estate broker, but I'm also a sales manager at Accredited Real Estate Schools. I have their information posted over here as well as below, so please feel free to check them out, give them a call, send them an email, or stop on by, and they'd love to answer any questions you might have. This video is going to talk about state exam preparation for both the real estate salesperson and broker state exam in California and why choose Accredited. What makes them so great of how they structure their exam prep to make sure their students are successful the first time on passing the state exam so they can start this new career. And so the big thing to know though are there is prerequisite courses to be eligible to actually take the salesperson or the broker state exam. For salesperson, there are 3 required courses. For brokers, there's 8 required courses. And these courses have great foundation that they provide for the student because they are approved by the Bureau of Real Estate. It's able to make sure that the material provided the Bureau has seen. They know that any of the textbooks, material that goes with it, the exams, everything covers what it needs to cover. And it also allows the Bureau to make sure that all students are serious. They've already jumped through a hurdle and completed these courses before applying to the state exam for either salesperson or brokers. So these are really important courses. The one thing to know though is it doesn't cover everything. It just covers those specific courses because the state exam is an all-encompassing. It pulls from all of real estate. So you really have to have exam preparation to make sure you get that whole picture of that all-encompassing material. And that's where we help you significantly. We provide the course requirements as well as the exam preparation. So it's kind of like the work smarter, not harder method. It teaches you what to know and how to know it, so the right material, the right way, so you can start this new career and get on with your life. So now that you see how the courses that are required, the state exam, as we were saying, is all encompassing. So it covers all of real estate. So for either salesperson or brokers, it'll touch on California real estate law, the civil code, business and professions code, the reference book, principles, practice, appraisal, finance, lending, property management, economics, escrow, title, tax, business law, contracts, subdividing, and so much more. It covers everything, not just those prerequisite courses. And that's where we're here to help to make sure you get that whole picture so you can go in and pass. So how we do this, because we know that the Bureau does an all-encompassing exam, how do we structure our programs? What we do is we like to have you to study the concepts. So we teach you the material either with our video or our classroom, and you have an interactive workbook. So it's like it takes all of this all-encompassing material and puts it all in one place for you, so you're not jumping back from material to material, book to book, and trying to piece everything together. It's all there in one place, so you know the concepts. And then what we have you do is apply these concepts with practice questions. So to make sure that you're reinforcing the material and you're proficient in applying the knowledge that you're learning. So then when you do go in and take the exam, nothing's a surprise and you'll be able to confidently go in there with your knowledge and pass it. So we teach you the material and then you apply it with practice questions. Now, how do we choose what material to cover? Now, it's an all-encompassing exam, but we would be here for years if we had to teach you every single thing about real estate. So what we do is we take the breakdown that the Bureau provides on the for the state exam for both salesperson and brokers. They say that it's broken down into 7 areas and an approximate percentage of that area. So for instance, area 1 is property ownership and land use controls and regulations. Area 2 is agency. Area 3 is basically appraisal. Area 4 is financing with a little bit of economics. Area 5 is transfer of property. 6 is practice of real estate. And then 7 is contracts. And then the approximate percentages that go with it. So we take this breakdown and we teach you this material specifically to it. So you are not learning just a bunch of fluff. You're learning exactly what you need to know. And because they give us this wonderful breakdown, we're able to make sure it's all in one place for you and you're able to be comprehensively studying the right material. Now, because of this, that they say that these are the topics that it's covered, the state exam is a weighted exam. It's not a quantitative, but it's a qualitative exam. What that means is you have to be proficient to pass. For salesperson, it's a 70%. For brokers, it's a 75% or higher to pass. The one thing though that they say is because it's weighted, you might have to correctly answer enough weighted questions to equal at least a 70% for salesperson, 75% for brokers, or maybe pass all 7 areas with at least a 70%. So it's a very challenging exam. If it's 100 multiple choice questions, you can't just get 70% of them right to pass. each question might be weighted differently. So, you know, you might miss some of the really heavy, difficult weighted questions. Then you might fail it even though you got more than 70% correct overall. It's just how they structure it. And so that's where all students have to be proficient in all of the concepts to make sure that they can go in and pass it, because you do have to pay each and every time you take the state exam. We want to make sure you only go in there once and you can start the career. The one thing I do want to say though is that the percentages that the Bureau does list on the areas are approximate. So what that says is, for instance, for like area 1, if it's 15%, just as an example, then basically you might have to get 15% of the questions will be on area 1, or maybe there's a lot of questions on it, but it's weighted at 15%. No one really knows. The Bureau's never released it. They've only released that it's weighted and that roughly this is how it's constructed. But we've been in business for a long time, so we know what we want you to, for students that need to have the education to go in and pass this. And so now that the Bureau is structured this way, how to make sure you're proficient in it, we take all of these 7 topics that the Bureau says and we focus on them individually. So we take them and we want to make sure that you are able to have everything in one place, because focusing, concentrated studying works better when learning new concepts. It allows students to master certain topics more easily and usually creates for better retention. So we want to make sure that you have this material, but it also it can sink in and you have it and you're able to make the differentiations for those topics. Everything's in one place. So for instance, on area 1, the Bureau says it's approximately 15% of the exam. These are all of the topics that they say will be covered. We further subcategorize these topics into 3 sub-areas just in area 1. We take area 1A, 1B, and 1C. So we further make it more logical so you can make everything meaningful. You can differentiate between the terms and everything's there together so you can really see how it's laid out. You're able to get the big picture, but then you're also able to see where everything goes in that big picture, which makes a huge difference in being able to understand the material and also apply this understanding of the material to these questions. So we really, really stress the importance of this, and we really are great at making sure our students have everything necessary, all their tools to go in and pass. And we do this similar breakdown for all of the areas. So for area 2, 17% of the exam, they say, we categorize that. Area 3, appraisal, we subcategorize it into 2 sub-areas, 3A and 3B. Area 4, we subcategorize it into 4 sub-areas. And then area 5, we subcategorize it into 3 sub-areas. 6, we subcategorize it into 6A and 6B. And then area 7, 7A and 7B as well. So we do that for all of the material that's covered on the state exam, but we take those topics and we teach exactly what you need to know of it. So because as I said, if we had to teach every single thing about real estate, you'd be here forever and nobody would have a real estate license, because it'd be very, very few, just the amount of time that goes involved into getting the license if that were the case. So this way, it's the work smarter, not harder method. We teach you what you have to know to go in and pass it. Now the study method. Now that we've shown you how we construct our exam preparation, how do we have it all work together? So you'll study the workbook that you fill out either with the video or the classroom, so you learn all of the concepts. Then we recommend going back and studying each individual sub-area. So you would go back to area 1 and then you would study area 1A. And then what we do is we actually have sub-area practice questions. So you could take practice questions just on area 1A to see how well you're doing with it and where your challenging areas are. And so you can keep track of how well you're doing, and so you can then identify your challenging or problem areas, so where you have to spend more time on. Because sometimes if you study practice questions and it just grabs from all over, you won't have that full picture of where you need to study or where to go to get that material, to get that full picture, to be able to understand the material. So we do that for you. We lay everything out. All you have to do is just study what we give you, practice on the practice questions, and then once you've done these for all sub-areas, you would then do overall practice exams to make sure that you are proficient in the material. So then you would just pull from all areas to simulate the actual exam that you would take with the state to see if you're proficient in everything overall. But then you can always roll back to the sub-area practice exams and then the sub-areas in the workbook, so you can go to the areas that you might need to study a little bit more on. So basically what you do is you study the material with our workbook by doing our video or our classroom. You then focus on the individual areas. You do sub-area practice exams, and then you do actual practice exams that simulate the exam. So we make sure everything's laid out for you to have the right material to pass the state exam the first try, so you can get on with this new career of yours. And then once you have that, you'll just want to review it all. And since it's all laid out for you, you can kind of just review through the workbook, the practice questions where you need to, and then just spend a little bit more time on the exact sub areas or the exact topics that you know you want to maybe brush up on the night before. So when you go take that state exam the next day, you're good to go. So this is how we outline our exam preparation. We've been in business for over 20 years. Accredited Real Estate Schools is phenomenal at structuring this material. They specialize in it, and we make sure that you have the necessary tools. We keep up with it, so you are always prepared no matter what age, what walk of life you are, we are prepared for you. And so you can go in and pass it. We have a significant success with it. We have testimonials all over our website. I personally did our exam preparation for my salesperson and brokers and passed it my first try each attempt. And it was pretty fast as well for me. So really a great tool. But again, I am not the Bureau of Real Estate. If you want complete and accurate, up-to-date information on that the Bureau can provide you specifically on the state exam, always feel free to give them a call. There's their number right there, as well as their website. They have great information there for you. But we do, at Accredited, we've been in business for so long that we can help you with a lot of it as well. We're just not the Bureau of Real Estate. Accredited's information's over there, and I know a representative would be glad to assist you with any questions you might have and to help you along with this process of obtaining that real estate license. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.